What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. For many of you who are familiar with the content of Officer Tatum, also known as Officer Brandon Tatum, he's a big-time YouTuber in the conservative space, and he stands out because he's one of the few voices from the historic Black American community that grew up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and now gives commentary on accountability, just many political issues in the States. But one of the things he specializes in is the extreme criticism of Black dysfunction. All right. And as it seems, at the behest or bidding of white people. That's kind of how many people see Brandon. I've worked with Brandon before. I don't dislike Brandon. We're different. We have different points of views. I've never really come after Brandon because of that, but that's what he does. All right, for the most part. And most of us can see it. It's kind of how he's grown his following. Now, again, he's commented on the William Mcneil situation. And if you know Brandon Tatum, one of the fundamentals that he'll use on his channel is to capitalize on a racial issue. If there's a white cop, Black guy, Brandon Tatum will find a way to switch this narrative and somehow use his police knowledge into blaming the person that is Black. He does it almost every time. In this case, William Mcneil, if you guys remember, there was supposed to be a situation of inclement weather. So what the police said, the reason why he was stopped was because of inclement weather. Now, inclement, which is, my dumb ass didn't know what it was until this, is basically unpleasantly cold or wet weather. All right. So basically what the police were saying, because it was unsafe or undesirable at the time, Mr. Mcneil should have had his lights on. And that was the reason for the stop. Now, also, we know Mr. Mcneil didn't have a valid license. It was suspended. There was some weed in the car. There were some things like that, but that's irrelevant for the time being right now, because what Brandon Tatum is going to argue is around the inclement weather situation.
You're gonna hear this guy talk about it. You see people say it online. It's the most asinine and ridiculous claim. It's because they hate police and they always want the police to be wrong, so they will make up anything. It wasn't raining. Look at this video. This is fresh rain droplets still hanging onto his vehicle. If somehow it wasn't inclement weather, which means it wasn't raining at all, you wouldn't still see rain droplets on his car.
So what Brandon Tatum is saying here, look at the raindrops on the car, all right? It wouldn't be raindrops on the car if it wasn't raining, all right? Now, the lead attorney came back with a magnificent review of this video. Now, he's also an attorney, all right, practicing. And the name of the video is called Officer Tatum is a all right? Now, the lead attorney is very intelligent, so he doesn't roast people based on feelings. Look at the response.
Officer Tatum says if it wasn't inclement weather, you wouldn't see rain droplets still on his car. Now, guys, I got a question for you, and I'm gonna see who are the A students and who are the B students, all right? There are two problems with what Brandon Tatum just said. He said that if it wasn't inclement weather, you still wouldn't see the rain droplets on the car. Can you identify the two problems with this statement? I'll give you 5 seconds, all right? And while you're considering it, it's very hard to get an A in law school, okay? All right, time's up. If you got this answer, then at least you have a B. What's the problem with what he said? Let's go back and take a look.
Look at this video. This is fresh rain droplets still hanging onto his vehicle. If somehow it wasn't inclement weather, which means it wasn't raining at all, you wouldn't still see rain droplets on his car.
He said if it wasn't inclement weather, you wouldn't see raindrops on the car. What is the B answer? The B answer is, Officer Tatum, respectfully, you can see raindrops on a car when it's not raining. The rain could have stopped 5 minutes ago. It could have stopped 15 minutes ago. It could have stopped 30 minutes ago. Just because there are raindrops on a car does not mean that it's raining.
So he's saying here, the term inclement weather with regards to raining, well, basically it doesn't mean that it's continually raining or it's still raining right now, right? It could have been raining 30 minutes ago. It could have been raining an hour ago, but it does not mean that the weather is inclement, which also to me indicates that this is a term which is subjective. Now, if you can look at what Wikipedia says, we would say that this is severe weather, okay? Unfavorable weather, which means any type of weather such as rain, snow, high winds that would slow down or prevent work being undertaken on a building site. Now, if this is inclement, according to Oxford reference, what we were seeing during the traffic stop was not inclement weather, according to what Oxford's saying, because if we were to put a building site out there, people were to working, we can't see the foreman saying, hey, you guys should stop working because this weather's inclement. I just don't think that would be the case. But the officer, which again used that particular argument to pull him over, I think was a little stupid, but okay, I mean, it was petty, but that's not really inclement weather. And again, he answers the point, well, it could have been minutes ago. But the next part is this.
Somehow it wasn't inclement weather, which means it wasn't raining at all. You wouldn't still see rain droplets on his car.
Did you catch it? Guys, I will tell you that if you are an attorney, you have to pay such close attention to every single word. What did Officer Tatum say? He said, if it wasn't inclement weather. What's the problem with that? The problem is inclement weather isn't a thing. It's nowhere in the statute. Guys, here is the complete statute that governs when your lights must be on, your headlights. Again, we see here during any rain, smoke, or fog. Do you see anything about inclement weather? As a lawyer, you have to pay attention to when people try to introduce new words, new meanings into an argument. Nowhere in here does it talk about inclement weather. In fact, if I go up here and just do a Control F, let's see, I am gonna put the word inclement. I don't know if you can see this or not, guys, but I put the word inclement in here and it comes up 0/0. Nowhere in here does it talk about inclement weather.
So Brandon Tatum tries to use new language. And again, he's changing the argument before our very eyes. Now, for those of us who are not attorneys, it would have been very difficult for me to catch that. And that's why a person like Brandon Tatum debating somebody who's not in law, he would have a level of an advantage, because simply a person is not keen on what he's doing. But it's clear as to what the lead attorney is talking about. He's changing the language in the argument to fit what he's trying to transpose here. And it doesn't make sense. He even went and looked up in the Florida statutes here, the term inclement, it is nowhere to be found there. So if he's as the video title says, and I believe it was another YouTuber that actually said that, not actually him, he's repeating the phrase, what can be inferred from Officer Brandon Tatum is that his content is very agenda-based, okay? And that means he's predisposed to always turning on blacks on the behest of whites, in this case, conservative whites, because he's on the either on the interview with somebody that's European Jewish or Caucasian. And this is what I just don't like about some of the content creators in that space, because ultimately you're not doing yourself a service. I mean, and it just makes me think that I'm glad that he's no longer in law enforcement, because maybe that was his ideology at that point too. It could be that officers like Brandon Tatum are the reason why in Black America, why people dislike police officers, because you already have a predisposed notion that, oh, because the person is black, then this person is X, Y, and Z. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Right now, there's a big melee, or it actually occurred at the Cincinnati Music Festival. And it's an unfortunate situation where you had a white guy who ran up on a group of blacks, okay? Depending on who you talk about, they'll say that these blacks beat up this white guy, okay? That's the narrative going out there. But upon further review and understanding of the story, you can see clearly, at least from what I saw, the person who slapped the person first, which was the white guy. Now, it just so happened that everybody in the white guy's camp got demolished. And yes, some people got hit that were innocent, and that's unfortunate. And I'm not trying to make sure or clear that that's okay. It's not okay. But what it does show, it shows one thing, that a lot of the whites were going around blaming Black Cincinnati. Like, this is Black Cincinnati, even some of the blacks. This is what y'all do. Y'all make the city unsafe. And there may be elements of truth to that, but that was not the case on what I saw. But somebody like Brandon Tatum would clearly overlook that and find a way to introduce new language and new terminology to fit his argument to disparage the person that happens to be an African American or Black American. And so this is what we call clicking. Because what you're trying to do is to get white favoritism in exchange for whatever else, fame, money, but at the end of the day, when you have to do that, nobody respects you, okay? You're not respected for doing that. And again, we all gotta make money here on YouTube and stuff like that, but there are plenty of times I go against the grain because ultimately I feel like it's my duty to express myself freely, but I don't see the creators like maybe Candace Owens here and there, but not often. And the reason why, because this is what happens. And I think it is really, really unfortunate for somebody like Brandon Tatum to continue doing that, because if something were to ever happen to him, they would get rid of him, okay? They would get rid of him. They support you now, but let you get accused of something. All of a sudden, that support is gone. Guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again. Another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Which is for all you do, subscribe to the bell. We're out.